What's going on, knuckleheads? Welcome to Fightersrep episode 39, rather the Fightersrep podcast. I'm your host of Fightersrep, Fez. Listen, I don't know what happened to ignorant behavior, but you know me, I'm an impatient guy, and there's only so many minutes I can take before I get this show on the road on my damn self, on my damn own. So I appreciate you guys joining me today. What I want to talk about in today's episode is Devin the Dream Haney Vindicated. You know, this has been, for me, a situation that I've been watching closely. And it's one of those things, I must say, that really shows the gap, right? This situation is one of those things that really, I think, shows the gap between generations, right? The generations of old, where honor and respect and integrity and sympathy and empathy and all these things still mattered, versus the new generation where social media clout chasing, doing whatever you got to do to get over on the next man, narcissism, whatever trumps humanity, right? That's what the new generation is. Make no mistake about it. And this social media game has done nothing but amplify severely and exacerbate severely the narcissism and the narcissists that are coming through, not only in the fight game, but that are also fans of the fight game. And I say that because, I heard Paulie Malignaggi touch on this a bit, and he almost felt lost, right? And I feel the same way. Paulie Malignaggi, I want to say Paulie was born in Italy, came here as a very young man, or maybe was born here, went there, came here as a very young man. It's another culture where, honor is a big deal. Keeping your word is a big deal. Not doing people wrong is a big deal. And when he was talking about this entire situation, he was referencing especially the comment sections on social media that are just, it's unbelievable. All they seem to do is talk about how Ryan Garcia got his behind whooped, and how, or rather Devin Haney, and how Devin Haney can't take a loss, and how he would have gotten whipped anyway, and how PEDs couldn't block the left hook for him. And, there's a shocking, I must say, and I think I'm especially shocked because typically in combat sports, whatever they are, even in boxing, there's still an element of the martial arts to it. There's still an element of honor and respect and integrity. So I see these people in these forums that are supposed to be fight fans over and over and over again, consistently saying Devin Haney got his ass whipped, the PEDs couldn't help right, just showing absolutely zero empathy. I mean, we're talking about a kid, right, in Devin Haney, who sacrificed the entirety of his life to become a boxer and to become a unified champion, and flew out there to Australia with all kinds of complications with his dad, having an arrest record, having to get out there, and fought the best in their backyard, and fought Lomachenko, and fought Kambosos, and fought Linares, and fought Regis Prograis, looked incredible. And then he goes out there and he has, basically one bad performance. I mean, people say that maybe he lost to Lomachenko, but at the end of the day, it was close, and Lomachenko's a beast, right? He goes out there, he maybe has one, I won't even say a bad performance, a performance where he doesn't win, and it happens to be against a guy with 3 pounds who's also popped with 60 times the legal amount of Austrian in his system. And people just can't get off the bubble of, well, you would have gotten your ass whipped anyway. Well, would he have? Had Ryan Garcia properly cut weight down to the limit, just forget the PEDs, right? Let's just talk about getting down to that weight limit properly. Had he done that, would Devin Haney have gotten his ass whipped? The same Devin Haney who got dropped multiple times in that fight and still almost got a draw? Now add in the PEDs, right? And it's very convenient now because the people covering up for Haney, and and I won't say Showbiz the adult is covering up for Haney, but I'll say he keeps pushing this agenda of he believes it was unintentional doping, right? Which I disagree with. And there's no way for us to know if it was intentional or unintentional. But based on the circumstances, for me and the facts, it was intentional, right? Because you got a guy who can't get down to 140 pounds, who admitted, I believe after the fight, he can't get down to 140 pounds, who just so happens to conveniently take a PED or ingest a PED, whatever happened, that aids with weight cutting. Listen to this, not only aids with weight cutting and maintains muscle while it aids with weight cutting, but also can give you results within the first week. Very, very convenient when we look at the timing of, the gap between the test he took, I believe, at the beginning of April and the test he took at the weigh-in or the day of the weigh-in. Very, very convenient, right? That little gap, if you know what you're doing, and you pop a little bit of Ostarine, which allegedly can give you the ability to cut weight and maintain muscle, right? And give you that benefit within a week, that gap is enough. That gap is enough. And I always want to give fighters the benefit of the doubt. I do. And I want to give Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt. But here's a guy who's spiraling. And here's a guy who's showing himself not to really express much of a conscience when you're looking at all the tweets he's putting out there about the situation. Boxing is corrupt and Vada this and Conti that, and it's a conspiracy theory, and not a guy taking any sort of accountability. So when you look at the character of a person like that, who seems to have a lot of difficulty taking accountability for his actions, you combine that with the fact that he doesn't seem able to make the weight. You combine that with the fact that this PED is to help you cut weight and maintain muscle. You combine that with the fact that this thing can allegedly get you results within a week. You combine that with the fact that there was a gap in testing, I believe, for a couple weeks or so in between, the weigh-in test and prior to that. I believe there was a few weeks there where he wasn't tested. And you look at all this and you see his reaction, and it just, for me, it just reeks of somebody. It just reeks of somebody who probably intended to do this. But again, at the end of the day, we don't know, right? We don't know. That's just my suspicion based on the facts and the circumstances. Now, what I do love about this situation, and I'm going to tell you some other stuff I hate about this situation, but what I do love about this situation is the way that the New York State Athletic Commission handled this situation, right? And apparently Garcia entered into a settlement. That's what I'm seeing online with the New York State Athletic Commission, meaning, hey, settlements typically, I don't want to fight this. Let's just get rid of this thing. I'll just, I'll meet you halfway and we'll figure this out. He entered into a settlement with the New York State Athletic Commission where the victory is no longer a victory. It's a no contest, which I think is the best thing that could have happened here. Of course, the narcissists and their supporters and the D-riders of Ryan Garcia are going to absolutely lose their mind that I said that, but that's the best thing that could have happened here. The fight will be turned to a no contest. He'll be forced to forfeit the $1.1 million contract purse, which, I'm hoping Devin Haney gets a chunk of that since he was on the receiving end, whether it's intentional or unintentional, of a guy who was PED'd up, who had PEDs in his system. And there will be a $10,000 fine which is the state maximum. Right now, his tweets reflect as follows. They took my victory away. Let me know if you can even find an inkling, a modicum of remorse in any of his tweets. It's okay. I'm retired. I'll come back in a year. This is what this guy is saying. I'm headed to the UFC. For real, Dana, hit me up. Just wild. It's just absolutely wild. Now you turn over to Devin Haney, who I just want to say, man, utmost congrats to you, Devin. You absolutely deserve this no contest. You know, I appreciate your legal team if they really did seek a loss for him, a disqualification loss for him, which I think is more appropriate. But a no contest works for me as well. And I love Devin Haney keeping it classy, you know, saying thank you to the commission for doing the right thing and making the right decision. I don't understand how Golden Boy is getting any money as if they took any punches. They haven't even spoke out about this PED situation. What he's referring to there is that it looks like that purse is going right back to Golden Boy. But I do like the idea, and I'm hoping it happens, of Devin Haney getting a percentage of that. And where I did see a hint or someone bring that up was Dan Rayfield, who broke this news on X. He said Ryan Garcia / legal team have made settlement agreement with New York State Athletic Commission. He has agreed to the following: suspension of at least 1 year, forfeiture of his $1.1 million official contract purse goes to GB, which is Golden Boy. Haney may get a percentage, $10K fine, state max, fight officially a no contest, hashtag boxing. So you see, he says Haney may get a percentage. Listen, I'm hoping that happens for Devin Haney because, you know, if anybody deserves to get a percentage, right? Again, I mean, maybe my mentality is antiquated. You know, maybe I'm just so old, and the new in happening fad thing is to support people that just, you know, shit all over others, and to support people that might be cheating. I don't know. Maybe that's coming from that generational dip in testosterone people are talking about. Listen, if that's the new in thing, that's not for me. That's not for me. You can keep that over there. You know, good luck to you guys. You know, I know you don't like accountability, you know, but I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a guy who may have cheated against another guy who's dedicated his entire life to, to a sport where you can die in a ring, where you can die in there, right? He's coming in there on PEDs. He could have killed this man. We don't know what kind of punishment long-term he's taken. We don't know what he's going to look like when he gets back in there, Devin Haney. We don't know how much punishment he took. So I got a problem with that. I got a problem with somebody that walks in there and potentially compromises another man's health and well-being and life and career. I got a problem with it. For whatever reason, this generation does not have a problem with it. This culture of people that we're living among now does not have a problem with it. Go to any social media site, go to any comment section of anything, and you're going to see, and this is as accurate, I'm giving it to you authentic and accurate, 95% of people on Ryan Garcia's side. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Is it overwhelming narcissism now that's taken over people? Is it mental health because of this whole COVID thing and people being locked up for years? I don't know what it is that all of a sudden people are championing, a potential cheat over a guy who was in a fight that was obviously unfair against someone who had PEDs in his system. And to completely ignore the fact that PEDs not only enhance your everyday average draw. I mean, imagine what they do for a boxer. Imagine what they do for their speed, their stamina, their power, their recovery, their ability to cut weight. Man, It helps you cut a lot of corners, especially in a fight that was that close, because at the end of the day, that fight was close. That fight was close. The broadcaster had it a draw. I had it pretty much that close as well. For our culture, for humanity to sit there and act like this is normal, and to back the guy that had 60 times the allowable amount of a PED in his system, it's just absolutely, it's terrifying. It shocks the conscience. It's disturbing. It's frustrating. It's sad. It's sad, you know, and I'm not one to bring up race, almost never. This is the only time where I've said to myself, what is it? Is it a racial thing? What's going on here? Why do they hate this kid so much who did nothing but dedicate his life to the craft, to his sport, and went in there and fought a guy who had PEDs in his system, whether intentional or unintentional, and got beat up, made it a close fight, but got beat up, right, against this person who had PEDs in his system. And the person who has PEDs in his system is showing no remorse at all. Spiraling out of control, talking wild, talking reckless, showing no remorse at all. Knucklehead, something I had to share with you guys, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You know, I'm going to have to be, you know, making more of these videos. Support the channel, super chats, join the channel. It's the way you support. Get yourself some merchandise. And Fightersrep 25 and 26 coming September 7th, live from the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles, and September 21st, right here in Pompano Beach, South Florida. You get your tickets at fightersrep.com. Tickets go on sale on July 3rd. Let me know. Am I just old and outdated? You know, should we just throw respect and honor out of the window because somebody's attractive or enjoyable on social media or goofy on social media? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to hearing it. Sorry I kept this episode short, but it is what it is. We'll talk soon.